Hello, my dears. How are you doing today? Well, Grandma wants to read you a story. It's called Pinkerton Behave. You see that great big dog? His name is Pinkerton, and he is a Great Dane. Now, some of you have dogs. I don't think any of you have Great Danes. Some of you had your dogs when they were puppies. And this is the story of a family that got a Great Dane puppy. And they have to teach their puppy commands, right? Have you had to teach your dog some commands? Well, every new puppy has to learn to behave. First, I'll teach Pinkerton to come when he's called. See, there's the mom. She's trying to teach him. She says, Pinkerton, come. And what does Pinkerton do? He jumps out the window. He's not doing what she was asking. While he's trying to master come, we'll teach him to fetch my slippers. Pinkerton, fetch. See, she's pointing to her slippers, wanting him to come get them for her. And what does Pinkerton do? He chews them all up. Oh no. From now on, I'll fetch my own slippers. She doesn't like having her slippers chewed up. Has your dog ever chewed up some shoes? That's not very fun, is it? But it's important for him to defend the house. If a burglar shows up, he'll need to bark loudly to scare the bad guys away. And see what the mom has done? She's made this monster to be a burglar. She's trying to teach him. Pinkerton, bark loudly. And what does Pinkerton do? He's giving him a kiss. He's licking him and licking him. I'm afraid Pinkerton needs professional help. He'll have to go to obedience school. Have you ever taken your dog to obedience school? And there's the teacher up on top of the steps. When this poor creature sees how well my other pupils behave, he will understand what I expect of him. See poor Pinkerton down there trying to cover his eyes. So, first day of class, we begin with the simple command, come. See, they're all sitting there with their masters across the room, and they're trying to be taught the word come. Well, most of the dogs came, but what did Pinkerton do? He jumped out the window. We cannot hold back the entire class for one confused student, said the teacher. On to the next lesson. See, there's Pinkerton outside. That's what he does when he hears the command, come. He jumps out the window. Lesson 2, fetch. There they are, the dogs trotting across to fetch the slippers at the command fetch. But what does Pinkerton do? He's chewing up the slippers. Dogs, pay attention. Our next lesson is a most important one. Scare away the bad guy. So lesson 3, bark loudly. And you see these figures over here, the burglar, the crook, the pirate, the Martian. I hope we don't have any Martians trying to break into our house. Bark loudly. There's a teacher giving the command to all the student dogs. They're supposed to bark loudly. And most of them do. They bark. But what does Pinkerton do? He tries to give him a kiss. He licks him to death, practically. Your dog's misbehavior sets a poor example for the other students. Unless he shows immediate improvement, he will be dismissed. So the teacher's getting upset. He's not learning, and he's teaching the other dogs bad things. We will now review all that we have learned. Begin with a simple command. Come. So everyone's calling their dogs to come. Looks like they're not paying very good attention. Teacher yells, come. And what do the dogs do? They all jump out the window, not just Pinkerton. Fetch. The teacher's yelling, fetch. And what are all the dogs doing? They're all chewing up the slippers, just like Pinkerton. Uh-oh. He's been setting a bad example for the other dogs, hasn't he? Bark loudly. There's the teacher, seeing all those bad guys. They're supposed to be barking loudly. And what are they all doing? They're all licking those bad guys. Not the command the teacher was trying to get across. Out, out, out. He kicks him out. Do you see his report card there? It has an F. He flunked obedience school. Mom, you've had a pretty rough day. Why don't you go to bed and get a good night's sleep? See that little girl trying to take care of her mom. Pleasant dreams, Mom. Pleasant dreams, Pinkerton. And do you see what the mom is dreaming? She's dreaming that she's telling him fetch, and he's actually bringing her the slippers. And there's Pinkerton lying on his rug. The mom keeps dreaming, fetch. And he fetches. He gets an A. What's Pinkerton dreaming? Fetch. He gets an A, but he's tearing up the slippers. And what do you see out the window? Looks like a bad guy is coming. Pinkerton, wake up. It's a bad guy. Scare him away. That's not what Pinkerton's dreaming about. He's dreaming about licking the bad guy. Pinkerton, bark loudly. See that bad guy trying to steal stuff? Get lost, you ugly, stupid, disgusting mutt. What's Pinkerton doing? Trying to kiss him. A burglar doesn't want to be kissed. Trying to get rid of Pinkerton. Get away from me. And then the little girl comes in. Pinkerton, he's a slipper. What does he do to slippers? He tears them apart. See what he's doing to that bad guy? He's grabbing him and chewing him up, just like he does to slippers. Pinkerton, come. And what does Pinkerton do on that command? Oh, and do you see what the mom's doing here? She's calling 911, the police. So at the command come, Pinkerton jumps out the window with the bad guy that he's been chewing up. He's pretty chewed up. And there's Pinkerton. He's got an A on his report card. And you see off in the distance, there's the bad guy with his clothes all ripped off. Bud, you're under arrest. There's the policeman catching the burglar. Pinkerton, I'm a bad guy. Bark loudly. What will Pinkerton do at that command? Mom wants Pinkerton to bark loudly. And what does Pinkerton do? He gives her lots of kisses. Lick, lick, lick. We love you, Pinkerton. Well, that's kind of a fun story. But you know what? It is a lot of work trying to train a puppy. It takes lots of time and practice. Because if you don't train them right, they can cause problems. But puppies grow up to be dogs, can be wonderful companions that we can love a lot. Well, Grandma hopes that you know that I love you. And I'll come and tell you another story later. Bye.